and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making Lunar New Year cards and I have the perfect stamp set for that. I will be using Anya in Vietnam and I've already colored her. Actually very slow at coloring and I don't think you will want to watch me do that. So I already have her already made. I'm going to pair her with this stamp set right here. This is from Hero Arts. It's their March 2024 stamp set. And I'm going to be layering these images to create a very nice scene. So what I did here was I stamped Anya onto this pattern paper. I did mess up here, so ignore that one. And basically I positioned it so that the bird is inside the dress and it becomes the fabric. So now what I'm going to do is cut inside the black line and just follow the dress. Alright, so let's take a look. Oh, that looks great. So I'm just going to adhere this down. I really like using this technique. It just gives it a nice finish versus having to color. I'm using an A2 panel size cardstock and I am going to die cut a border later on, and I want the mountains to be in the background. I'm going to stamp the bottom with Hero Hues Core Ink in Sand, and then the mountains will be in color Mist. And I know I'm going to need to do this a few times to get a good impression. I'm going to use a palette knife to kind of hold down my paper so that it doesn't move too much. Okay, so this is a layering piece for like the detail, so I'm just gonna position this so it lines up nicely. So I'm gonna use Dusty Blue for the mountain detail. Then I'm again going in with my palette knife to hold down the paper. I don't want anything to shift. Okay, and then now let's move on to the water. And what I'm gonna do with that one is damp it twice so that it'll fill up my paper. So to tie in everything, I'm going to use the base color again, and that's Mist right here. I'm just pushing my paper to the corner in case if it lifts up, I'll know the exact position of it. So I'm going to turn my stamp set and it's going to layer a little bit, but that's all right. I would like to add a sun right here, so I'm going to color in the sky, and the lightest color I have is Scattered Straw. So let's use that. So I have a scrap piece of paper. I'm gonna kind of blot it on here so that it doesn't leave a blob of color, a blob of ink. Gonna place the sun just... That looks like a great spot. Okay, so let's add the sun. I'm using the color Dandelion. Oh, that looks great. One more for luck. All right. Oh, that looks so nice. I printed this sentiment. It means Happy New Year in Vietnamese. I'm using this gold from Dr. P.H. Martin's, and I'm going to just ink around the edge. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on here. Take my tweezers to hold it, and I'm gonna just dip it into the ink at a slant so that I get it on there. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there to dry. So let's ink everything. I'm going to ink it in blue. I'm gonna use nautical. I'm gonna ink the edges so that it stands out when I adhere this to the card base. I'm just loosely inking the edges. So I want Anya on the right, so I'm going to place the islands somewhere right there on the left. Anya is going to be holding this flower, so let's glue that down. Oh, that is adorable. So to give Anya some dimension without using foam dimensional tape, I'm going to adhere some cardstock to the back side. So there's 3 pieces of cardstock. So Anya now is a little bit more dimensional without all the bulk. So with the sentiment, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some dimension using just cardstock. But I'm going to trim my paper down. I'm really excited for this card. I'm loving how it looks right now. And I'm just gonna have her hang off the edge a tiny bit. Since we added dimension to Anya, I forgot to add dimension to the back of the lotus so that it can lay flush. So I'm going to try to go in and fix that real quick. So I'm just going to hold it up to me so that way I can position this. So here's my card base, and I'm just going to glue the card front right down. So now let's add our finishing touches. I'm going to be using a white pen, stardust stickles, and also glossy accents. I'll be adding highlights to her hair. So I'm just gonna pick a few spots to draw in some highlights. And then I'm going to add some highlights to the petals. I'm also going to add highlights to her eyes just to bring back the whiteness. And I messed up right there. I had a little ink in her mouth, so I'm just going to cover that up. So I'm going to add glossy accents to her hat just to give it a nice shine. Next, let's add some sparkle to the inside of the lotus flower. And I'm going to add some sparkle actually to her pants. Let's add some sparkle to this crane. I really love mix and matching stamp sets, and this is such a beautiful card. I really like it. I might want to keep it for myself. I also created this card using the March 2024 My Hero Arts Kit. I used the cutting die for this, and I love it. It has a embossing background as well as the cutting die. So there's lots of detail on this card.